assault and battery, all the fatalities put on a badge. They murder us happily. It's obvious you have no sense of morality. Catered to women, I've been through the strategy, seen the mentality. Modern day Pharisees, brought in phylacteries. This shit's insanity. Came from more west than you have the audacity to bite the hand that has fed you. That's blasphemy. These niggas crazy. Like split personalities, arresting a nigga. Then teach on the Sabbath day, white supremacy. All in your spirituality. Muhammad said get 'em. So here comes the casualty. Loyalty's not built inside your anatomy. You are disgraceful to our nationality. I know that this gotta hurt like a cavity. Your wife cannot sing, she looks like a manatee. Indirect distance, y'all bitches is cowardly. Y'all niggas pussy, he's using vulgarity. No fucks are given like chastity. Close to the edge, so I hopped off the balcony. You niggas snitch to the municipality. NYPD who be paying them hourly. You cannot skate with this, not in this galaxy. You cannot fuck with us in no capacity. One was your father, your leader, your majesty. Honestly, there is no place that I'd rather be. You became ready for war like a Maccabee. Home of the truth, and I'll die for my family. All these cats is bitches. They can't fuck with us on no level. They snitches, man. Let me tell you something, talking about I'm calling the police. If you have a warrant, I'm turning you in. Jesus Christ had a warrant, nigga. Judas ass niggas, turn them in for 30 shekels. That's that $2,000 reward. All y'all pussy and y'all hate your people, bitch.
Okay, we sitting here with Officer Katazar, member of the Isupk, coming out of 1 West 125th Street.
Damn right.
Sitting here in the studio. A couple of questions I'm going to throw at you.
All right.
Now, I hear you got a new track coming out.
Right.
And also here you're one of the founding members of the Lost Tribe project.
I gotta burn up these dudes like a calorie. They need to hang that shit up like a gallery. Everything that they be teaching is fallacy, actually.
Okay. Now tell me about this new track. Give me a little something about that.
Okay, yeah, like you said, man, you know what I'm saying? Officer of the Isupk, Israelite School, Universal and Practical Knowledge. Lost Tribes is a music group that, you know what I'm saying, me and my brother Dawud started. You know what I'm saying? As you can tell, you know what I'm saying? Our narration describes the lives of the Lost Tribes in the ghetto trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? So, long of the story short, you know, I got this track coming out. It's called 30 Shekels.
That's blasphemy. These niggas crazy. Like split personalities, arresting a nigga.
And represents a certain, you know what I'm saying, traitorous group. You know what I'm saying, similar to Judas. You know what I'm saying? Brothers who don't love their people, but basically, long of the story short, there was an incident that took place in a so-called Hebrew Israelite group where a leader was exposed as not only a false prophet, a false leader, but a crooked cop.
Check it. I ain't kicking it with no hypocrites. Tell me why your life in parallel with what you spit. Talking about you pack gas and you busting clips. Type of cat that come round wouldn't bust a lip. Acting like you hear licks and you flipping bricks. You ain't never touched a nick, dog, you full of shit. Whenever you're in front of cameras, you be talking slick. Behind that twinkle in your eyes, I can see a bitch coming up with anything just to make a hit. Only way that this should defend you is if the shoe fits. Yeah, this is a message to my listeners. When I storm the beat, I'm never taking any prisoners. Verbally a criminal, style that's unequivocal. As the pinnacle of a lyrical individual. Music is medicinal, substance before residuals. Consistency is critical, pivotal in my rituals. Analog or digital, killing it is habitual. Well, all your rhyme is typical, visually it's pitiful. Cause the image that's been depicted I know is mythical. Inadmissible, cause we know all your words are fictional. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. And if you ain't about it, why the fuck you talking about it? Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Yo, you just a cream puff with a mean bluff. Only when your team round, when you seem tough. You ain't got one edge on you that seem rough. You ain't hard cause you got tattoos and scruff. Bitch, I call a spade and a punk. I don't call my bodyguard if we got a scuff. I get nuck if I buck and I roll up my cuffs. We can go toe for toe, blow for blow, punch for punch. Cause you ain't never caught a homie, you ain't never dropped a body. Come to think of it, homie, man, you ain't killing anybody. I got a better chance to join in the Illuminati than us believing you're a gangster like John Gotti. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. Don't talk about it, let me see you be about it. And if you ain't about it, why so do I gotta talk devilish to be relevant? Talk about drugs I'm peddling, pills, coke or heroin, mixing it with the medicine. gotta come set a precedent. So while I'm in the room, let me address the elephant. This is the state of hip-hop because we let the devil in. Folks without no melanin, demons inside a skeleton. They infiltrated hip-hop early in its development, destroying what was genuine. Please don't let the devil in. We ain't gotta buy it just because they selling it. Los Tribe's the only remnant, saving whatever's left of it. Tell them 2 times, man, please don't let the devil in. When I say hip, y'all say hop. Hip, hop, hip, hop. When I say 2, y'all say pop. 2, pop, 2, pop. When I say 1, y'all say west. 1, west, 1, west. When I say lost, y'all say tribes. Lost, tribes, 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 nigga, tribe, nigga.
Oh, you should be 12 too.
'69. What we do in this school is we teach the truth about the Bible. You understand? We go into these records, we go into this gospel, what so have you, and we bring out the mysteries of what has been so long forgotten by blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians for thousands of years. You understand? Since after Christ was walking the earth, we've forgotten what our Father, you understand, Yahweh or the Most High, as we would would call him in the world, what he has taught for us. You understand? What he's left for us, the instructions he's given to us as a people, how to live. You understand? How to deal with one another, what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do, and how to do it. And we've forgotten these things because of, you understand, our disobedience to the Lord, our love for heathen nations. You understand? And really because we've not had righteous leadership, man. Because the leaders that, you understand, that we've chosen, the leaders that we've picked to rule over the nation of Israel, the leaders that we picked to shepherd us, to guide us, you understand, to make decisions for us, to tell us who to vote for, you understand, to tell us what neighborhoods to move into, to tell us how to live, you understand, what to do and what not to do. Those leaders have not been righteous, man, and that's where our downfall has been here in America specifically. You understand? So we going to dive into that topic today. We going to go a little bit into that. We're going to also go into, we're going to touch back bases. I didn't get to finish the last class, but we're going to touch back on the base of why are these times that we're seeing right now, why are they so bad? You understand? It's a whole lot of commotion in the world. You seeing, if you listen to rap music, you seeing a lot of rappers who is gaining, a smidge of knowledge. They gaining a smidge of wisdom, and you can hear it in their songs. You understand? They saying stuff like, this the last election. You understand? But why are they saying that? They saying that destruction is coming. Why are they saying that, man? Because they listening to the Isupk teach and prophesy what the Bible has been prophesied for thousands of years ago. You understand? So we gonna go into why is this coronavirus happening? Why is these wars being, you understand, sprung up? Why is the condition of our people the way that they are? And why is the times that we're living in how they are right now, and as it pertains to the Most High and to the Bible. But before that, brother, if you could get me Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. This scripture is for me the uttermost important scripture of the book. You understand? This scripture holds, for me personally, you understand, it holds so much weight. You understand? Because all of this, all of this, the lifestyle that we've chosen in the ISUPK, we've chosen to change our life, to live for Christ, to do the will of the Most High. But it's nothing, you understand, when your brother is not standing with you. You understand? It's nothing when I don't, you go out every day and you sacrifice your whole life. You sacrifice eating shrimp. You sacrifice eating pork or lobster. You sacrifice smoking weed. You sacrifice, you understand, marking your body up. You sacrifice doing all the wicked things that, you understand, prior to you making this decision that you would do. But that sacrifice, you understand, it's what you should do. It's a law, but it means little when you're not doing it for the brother that's beside you. You understand? I don't go and I don't eat shrimp for myself. You understand? I don't do it for myself. I do it so that these brothers and these sisters can make it into that new kingdom. You understand? I do it for brothers like Trayvon Martin so that he doesn't have to come back and die again. You understand? For getting Skittles and sweet tea. I do it for brothers like Eric Garner so that he doesn't have to die and come back again and get choked out by some wicked cop. You understand? In this hell. And so because of those things, because of the condition of my brothers, you understand, because I see the brothers that are in this school who is making those same sacrifices, that's what is so important about coming into this truth and changing your life, man. You understand? But we're going to read on more about that right here.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Yeah, this is not a foreign concept. You understand? This is very much relevant in the hearts and in the minds of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. It's very much relevant. We've known since for 400 years that black people needed to get our mess together and that we had to come together. That's why we've tried every goddamn thing. We've tried to come together under the Nation of Islam and what they call him, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We've tried to do it with him. We've tried to come together with the African Bambaataa. We've tried Marcus Garvey. We've tried Malcolm X. We've tried Martin Luther King and coming together. Of course, Orgy Mike, he wanted to come together with every goddamn body, which was his problem. This brother just wanted to have his way. But we've always known and we've always had a sense that our position in life has been misplaced. Our position in our communities have been misplaced. Our position as men in the household has been misplaced because we've been destroyed, man, as a nation. And we've always known. What do you think we have meetings for? What do we think we have these movements where, you understand, what time frame did we want to become African so bad? What was it, the 80s, the 90s? The 80s, the 90s. We wanted to become African Bambaataa so goddamn bad. Why? You understand? Because we knew that living in America and the route that we were going was going to mean utterly the extinction of the black race. What do I mean by that? Meaning our culture, man. What we had, what we claim to have to be ourself, man, it will be gone. It will be wiped away because we did not have a sense of who we are, so we could not come together under any kind of terms. You understand? We couldn't come together on any terms because everything that we were or everything that we were trying to be was not of ourselves. We were trying to be like the so-called white man. We were trying to be like the so-called the Chinese man. What era was that? What was that? The 70s? 70s. We were trying to be Bruce Lee in Hong Kong and Chinese Wing Chun Wee. You understand? And then now who are we trying to be like? We're trying to be like anything that will accept us, man. Anything. You look at the times now and you seeing that, you understand, Hebrew Israelite and the real Jew and all of this and all that is coming out and it's fluctuating in the earth. You got celebrities and Kodak Black and what's some other ones? NLE Chopper and what's the one I'm looking for? Kendrick Lamar, that's the one I was looking for. You got brothers like that who's coming out and openly saying, we know we're the Jews. But then who are they tying themselves to? Who did Amari Stoudemire tie himself to? He went right back to the so-called oppressor, man. He went right back to the so-called white man and tied himself to that because that's what accepted him. Because the one thing that we have not had in the black community since Christ was here, man, is the love for one another. That's right. We have not had it, man. You understand? It's been a docile, man. It's been so docile and a vain idea that we could accept one another. So when he finds out that he may be a Jew, who is he going to go to? He's going to go to, you understand, the white man up in Hollywood, and he's going to tie himself to them because the white man is going to trick him into believing that they love him too, when really they understand exactly what they're doing. You understand, which is destroying him even further, which is why the Lord is telling us to come together. He's telling us to come together, not with the so-called fake Jewish man, not with him, not with the stinking African over there in Nigeria going through whatever the hell ain't got nothing to do with us over here. Not to join yourself with the Chinese man, and damn sure not to join yourself with the man who's slaughtering you in your streets to this very day, man. Our oppressor. That's not what the Lord is telling us to do. That's not what the God in this Bible would ever stand for. You understand? And any Christian pastor ever teach you that is a goddamn lie. And we're gonna prove it today. You understand? Read that part one more time.
Kind of Wakan, sir. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verses 1. Mm-hmm. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. O nation, not desire.
O nation, not desire. This is talking about a specific group of people. One nation of people that is not desired anywhere on this earth. You understand? You can't go to China and they just want to be you. You understand? They look at you and they look at us, Salaki. They look at us and they see the salt of the earth. They look at us and they see the best basketball player. They see the best football player, the best baseball player, the best track runner, the best boxer. Y'all seen that knockout by Devontae Davis? Everybody seen it. People in China watch that, man. And they look at us and they say, well, goddamn, them niggas can fight. We've always been able to fight because we've always been the best. But ask a Chinese man if he wants to die like Trayvon Martin died. Ask an African if he wants to die like Eric Garner died. If she wants to die like Sandra Bland died. Ask our oppressor if they want to die the same way that they slaughter us. They don't. Because they don't desire to be us. You understand? They desire to have us run and jump in some arena to give them entertainment like we're some goddamn gladiators in a goddamn Colosseum back in Rome, back in Greece. You understand? And that's all they desire of us, for us to work, for us to use our brains, for us to use our skills to better build their empire like we've done in every captivity that we've ever been in. If you know anything in the Bible, you know that every captivity or every slavery that Israel was in, we made them great. We made Rome great. We made Greece great. We made Babylon great. We made Egypt great, man, until the Lord destroyed it, man. And every time the Lord has freed us from every goddamn slavery that we was in. And right now, what nation are we making great? America, man. The same nation that you going out and voting for. We're making them great in their militaries, and their army, and their navy, and their air force and marines. We're patriotic here in America. We're the ones who was create you. How simple do you gotta be to real after all of the Black History Months that they've told y'all, damn near every invention that, has ever came up, it was probably really by a black man. How many times have you heard it? And you don't ever realize, you don't ever question, you understand, how the hell can we be responsible for the enrichment? You understand? You know what it means to enrich something, like how you enrich soil? You understand? You give it what it needs to grow. You give it what it needs to be. You understand? What's the word? What's the word for soil? I want to say fertile. Fertile. You give it what it needs to be fertile so that when you plant a seed, it grows. That's what we've done to America. You understand? We've enriched America so that it can be the superpower that it is, so that it can have the authority that it is over the earth, and yet we're still poor. Yet we don't get no money from the traffic lights. Yet we don't get no money from the first cars that was created. We don't get no money for nothing, man. You understand? Because this man has destroyed us, and we've learned to love them more than we've loved us. Which is why what? Which is why when you look at any Christian, when you look at any black Christian, I lie to you not, their sole goal and their sole purpose and their gospel is what? What is their sole purpose in life? You would probably have to know a Christian to know this. You would probably have to have some adversaries in Christianity to know this. What is their sole purpose? Anyone? Anyone want to take a shot? Hey, Shalom, sis. Young man.
From the truth.
Brother.
No, sir. To be rich, wealthy, and love the white man.
That's it. To save this so-called oppressor. To save the man who's been slaughtering us. That's their sole purpose, is that everybody can be saved. Everybody can share in the glory of God. Everybody. When you understand, who in the hell asked you about everybody? Who asked you? I never asked you about everybody. What I'm asking is about you. What are you doing so that you can get into that kingdom? You understand? And the problem is that because of our love for our oppressor, because of our Stockholm syndrome, because of our desire to be accepted by him, we would neglect everything that he's done to us for 400 years. We'll neglect all of our brothers and sisters that's been slaughtered. You understand? Tabawan, do me a favor. Get Cap on the phone. Salakia says, well, 1 second. I see what you're saying right there. Just give me 1 second. Brothers, you understand, or anybody else on the chat, if y'all got any questions or any comments that you wanna say or that you wanna type, just type it in the chat, and I'll get to it. You understand? But read what you got from the top one more time. Salakia.
Kind of one concert. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desire.
Keep going.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
And what is the decree of the Lord? What is his decree? Remember, think about what's going on today. Think about even what Christians teach. Christians teach that Christ is coming back. They're teaching that you see in the crazy stuff that's happening in the world, the last days, right? What is the decree of the Lord?
That Babylon be destroyed.
That America is going to burn. That judgment is going to rain down on this place that we're living in. That is the decree. It's a promise. It's what's going to happen. You understand? Keep going.
Cut on one concert.
Salaki, the sis said what scripture is that? It's Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. All right, keep going. Salaki.
Cut on one concert. Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
Before the what?
Fierce anger of the Lord come upon you. Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Con, you understand? Drop that. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 15. We're going to go into this voting thing a little bit. I've seen voting, you understand? It's what is it, election day. We going crazy out here in the world. Going to stand in the cold, ready to vote for the next man who's going to slaughter us. You understand? We ready to vote for the next man who's going to have us in the ghetto. For the next man who's going to support the police force. For the next man who is going to support our brothers and sisters being in cages over there on them borders. We going for the next one. You understand? After all of these years, after however so many presidents, you understand, we voted in office or whatever, has been in office, ain't near one of them ever did anything for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. No matter what kind of evidence you want to bring up, they've never done it because they loved you, because they've never told you the truth about who you are. You understand? Even I know some Christians love to bring up Abraham Lincoln. Oh, so simple. You understand? As if Lincoln freed the slaves, as if he had a goddamn choice. You understand? He couldn't. But he didn't do it because, he grew up and never had slaves. Or maybe did he do it because he never had slaves and he just disagreed? Or Salaka, did he have some slaves? That man had some slaves. So don't mention Abraham Lincoln, man. You understand? He's a goddamn racist devil just like the rest of them. John F. Kennedy too. All of them. Every last goddamn devil president you want to so-called love has never loved you back. They've never told you who you are. They've never went into those records that they keep and went back and told you that where you came from is not who you think you are. That you are the true Jews according to the Bible, and you're not just a nigger. You're not just an African American, which is a coined term by Jesse Jackson in 1964. You're not just black. You understand? You're not just coon or spick or wetback, but you are the 12 tribes of Israel. There ain't never been a president to come out and tell you that, and to tell you that you God's chosen people. And so because of that, the Lord got to rain judgment on this place, man. And because of that, we should never, you understand, we should never, ever decide to pick up a goddamn ballot, pencil, whatever, and go vote for no man to reign over us. We should never do that, man, because the Lord, that is a sin according to the Most High, man. If you went to them ballots and you casted a vote, you have sinned against the Lord and you have angered him, man. Why? Why? Because you've taken the glory away from the Lord. You've taken the glory away from him, man. You understand? The Lord is the one who was going to set this story in play. The Lord is the one who set Moses ahead of the nation of Israel. The Lord is the one who picked Mattathias. He picked David, man, and he picked Christ. You ain't vote for no Christ. The Lord voted for him. The Lord voted for David and every other goddamn leader that has led the nation of Israel everywhere. And here we are in 2020, and you think that you got the right to vote. You think that you got the right to undermine what the Lord is going to do, and you're going to go and pick. And then your simple behind going to go pick some goddamn devil who has been slaughtering your people. You sick, man. You're sick. You understand? Read what you got, Ak.
Sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. What is this talking about? Meaning you can't pick the man who rules over you. You don't pick him. You don't get to choose who is your king, who makes the laws for you. You understand? Who delegates for you, who gives judgment for you. You don't pick him whatsoever. Keep going.
Whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
Whom who?
The Lord thy God shall choose.
No, you're going to go vote.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
No, we depend on the electoral college.
From whom the Lord thy God shall choose.
No, the popular vote matters.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
No, who your pastor picks.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
Who your mother picks.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
Who you're forced into picking.
The Lord thy God shall choose.
So you mean to tell me we shouldn't be picking any goddamn body? The Lord will pick. The Lord will choose. You understand? There was a time in the earth where King Saul reigned, where he ruled the nation of Israel. And then his time came to a close. And who did the Lord pick? He picked King David. He picked King David to rule for the nation of Israel. And he removed Saul from his seat. They didn't come together and vote, man. They didn't vote. The Lord chooses who rules and who doesn't. You understand? Read it again from the top.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren.
One from who?
From among thy brethren.
Donald Trump.
Thy brethren.
Joe Biden.
Thy brethren.
Barack Obama, who was a goddamn African.
Thy brethren.
Any other president who's ever reigned in America.
From among thy brethren.
Who is your brethren? Who is your brethren? You a black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian standing in the goddamn freezing cold to cast a ballot for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Imagine. Imagine that. Those are your two options. Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Who is your brother? So like this sis said, got a question online. Can you talk about what created the division in the house between the mother, father, and children, and what it takes to bring a broken family back together? All right, no sweat. But who is your brethren? Tabawan.
Shalaki, sir, your brother would be a fellow Israelite.
A fellow who?
A fellow Israelite, sir.
For Christians. So they can understand.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man. Them niggas in the ghetto with you. You understand? That's your brethren. That's who the Lord is going to pick from. And there has never been a brother, you understand, from your nation that has been in rulership over America ever. There's never been a president of America, the United States, that has been black, Hispanic, or Native American. You understand? Because the Lord ain't wanting it that way. The Lord has already picked the king for the nation of Israel. His name is Christ, man. Yahweh Shah Mashiach. That's who we should be voting for. That's who we should be leaning on, man. Not no goddamn Joe Biden. Read it again from the top, brother, if you could, Baba Kashad.
Sir. Thou, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. They'll shout in any wise, set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
Thou mayest not set of who?
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee.
What is a stranger? Who was a stranger here? Who was a stranger? Anybody in the room? Anybody on live? If you're on a live and you want to chime in and answer any of these questions, you can. Sis, I see your request. Just give me 1 second. Let me get some authorization on that first. And I'll gladly take your question. But who was the stranger here? Read that part one more time.
Sir. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
That should give it to you. Who was a stranger in this context? Kawal.
Sir, it'll be the other nations.
It'll be a heathen.
The heathen.
It'll be all oppressor, right? It'll be an African, a Chinese man or woman. It'll be a Arab man or woman, a Vietnamese man or woman, or a white man or woman, right? Joe Biden is a stranger. Why is he a stranger? Why is it so wicked in that you have Joe Biden, who is a stranger, reign over you, be a king over you? What is the spirit behind it? What's the spirit behind it? It's a common concept, sis. He is our oppressor, but a little bit deeper. Think about why. Do you know anybody in the world who was a sister who just never would deal with white men? They just wouldn't. They in the world, but they just would never sleep with a white man, right? Why wouldn't they? Or they wouldn't have friends with white people. Young man.
Because they're from another nation.
They from another nation, but why wouldn't you befriend them? Why wouldn't you want to be your best boy? Be in sync. That's your crew. In sync is your crew, and that's your guys. Remember your life. Remember who you are. What you've done. Tabawan.
So, like, to make sure I understand your question. So you're asking why are there sisters in the world who just wouldn't, wouldn't deal with, white people, even though they weren't in the truth?
Not so much. I use sisters as an example, but just overall, You understand? What is the reason why a brother or a sister in the world would not conjoin himself to another nation? Double one.
Salaki, well, a lot of times, most of the time, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters just don't be around them. They grow up in places where they're always around other brothers and sisters, so it would never occur to them to be with or deal with somebody from another nation because they're not around them.
Right? That's part of it. Cool.
Because they don't understand our spirit.
You close.
We don't have nothing in common.
We don't relate to
We
them.
don't relate to each other, sir.
We don't relate. You can't sit in a room and a kickback, you understand, and have 6 white boys in there and then laugh about how you used to got beat by your mama as a child. You can't tell the stories of the flip-flop. You can't talk to them about the stories of your grandmama making you go outside and gathering the switches. You can't tell them about the TV cord that left whips on your back. You can't talk to them about the street light. You can't talk to them about the speed bump that you couldn't go past. You can't talk to them about the rules that you had, how crazy your mother is. You can't talk to them the same way they can't talk to you about how they would talk about killing a mother. And you understand? I remember I used to have white friends. They was on my football team. I remember it was the funniest crap I've ever seen in my life, man. It was a dude named Lucas and his brother Sam. And we wake up, mind you, it was like the most extravagant breakfast ever. I don't know if they was trying to show off because I was there or or if that's just how they did things. But I'm like, yo, y'all got the orange juice in the picture, like with no top. There's no top to the orange juice at all. Raspberries and all of this. I'm like, good night, you know. But that later on after breakfast, I guess it was time for, Sam to go to lacrosse practice. And Sam was not having that. He was not going to lacrosse practice. He's just, F you, Mom. I'm not going to no lacrosse practice. I told you my ankle hurts. I told you. And she's just like, I'm thinking, because like, yo, it's funny having been in both scenarios, because it's like, it's so surreal how, I'll tell you another story. You got to follow me on this one. One of my good friends, man, named Gerald Wilkes, man. His parents went out on like a poker night, and my pops let me spend the night at his crib. And, we rambling through stuff, and we find shot glasses. So, we like 13, 14, 15 years old, however old we is. And we like, yo, all right, let's get down. You got the shot glasses. So us being in our childishness, man, we go up and we just get the soda out the refrigerator, get the grape juice, get the apple juice and orange juice, and we mixing all kinds of this nasty crap together and just taking it back, acting like we was drinking shots. We ended up leaving the shot glasses out and going back upstairs to play. And all we know, if we hear the cars pulling up, we not thinking nothing of it because, technically we ain't do nothing wrong. We were sitting there being dumb, drinking juice and soda mixed together. And his parents come home with like his aunts and uncles, and all we hear is, what in the F, you understand? Like, what, Gerald? And I'm like, oh, crap. And all I hear is like, coming up the step, I'm like, yo, this nigga's about to get beat. And they come in there with the shot glass, like, what the, with belts and everything. And I'm like, oh, we done. We done, man. We eventually told him, like, nah, we just drinking juice, like, you understand? But that was kind of the reaction I was expecting from the white mom. You understand? Like, it ain't no goddamn shot glass with juice and soda in it that you can smell, and see there wasn't no alcohol in it. He's telling you, F you, go to hell. You understand? He ain't going to lacrosse practice because his ankle hurt. I'm thinking she about to go to town on this boy, and I'm getting that awkward feeling. And you know what she says, what her rebuttal is. Anybody could guess. Young man.
Alright. Now if you listen to lacrosse practice, I ain't gonna say nothing.
It was close to alright. Now she's a mother. She tried. She's a mother. You understand? She tried to discipline her child the best way she knew how in her culture. This woman said, well, you ain't going to go to the fair with your friends. I said, that's it? You understand what you got?
A couple months ago, I had this friend named Nate, this white boy named Nate. And he just kept ringing my doorbell. I told him to stop because I'm not coming outside. So I told my dad, and then he said the next time he ring the doorbell, just punch him straight in the face. I'm giving
good
you
night,
permission
brother.
to punch him in the face.
Don't punch that brother. It's a Edomite. Oh, it's a brother.
Hey, you know, like,
Yeah, don't punch him in the face, man. Leave him alone, man. Yeah. Good night. What you got at?
So like, if I may, it's just what you're saying is heavy because, you know what I mean? It seems, like you said, like somebody who kind of sees both sides of it, or who've been in a situation where they've seen both sides. So a lot of young brothers, young sisters, right? You know what I'm saying? We might grow up and we may do certain things. We do certain mischievous things or whatever. But even in our mischievousness in our culture, at least at a certain time, there's a certain level of like decorum that we tend to have with our parents and with like adults, you know what I'm saying, in our culture, to where even you can have the most wildest, you know what I'm saying, this little kid, just a troublemaker in school all day, cutting class, all that. But he hear a little white boy tell his mom F you, and he's like, yo.
You're right.
What?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That shows how different we are. We don't do anything the same.
Right. You understand? Like, and to bring it back, you understand? Like, we don't relate. Right. And that boy, you understand? He's still going to go to the fair with his friends, even though he told his mom F you. Right. He's not going to get beat. You understand? He's not going to get kicked out of his house. He's not going to get told that, you understand, like with black mother, you got a black mother or a black father, you know how that conversation goes. Right. He ain't going to get told that, man. But he will grow up and one day be your president. He will grow up and one day be your governor and have to make decisions for you and your household. Right. He will grow up and one day be your lawyer. And he'll have to have some sympathy on you, even though he has no idea what kind of life you've lived. He has no idea how to even relate to you. He can't even have a conversation with you. You understand? About nothing that you've done in your past. About nothing. He doesn't know what it feels like to get pulled over and you're black. He doesn't know what it feels like when you get pulled over and your stomach drops. When you see light. How many times have you been driving and you seen lights flash behind you, police cars, and your stomach drops and they go right past you? Ain't got nothing to do with you. You was going under the speed limit. You ain't did nothing wrong. Your tags is good. You ain't got no warrants. You got insurance. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing's illegal in the car. You don't have nothing wrong with you, but you see the lights in your stomach. It feels like your life flashes before you. You're so goddamn scared of the goddamn light. He doesn't know what that feels like. So how can you talk to him about police reform? How can you talk to him about the police murdering your people when the police ain't murdering his? How can you vote for a man that is going to stand for you when he has never stood with you ever? He's never stood with you. He's never lived the life that you lived. He's never seen the things that you've seen. He wasn't raised the way that you were raised. He doesn't love the things that you love. He doesn't hate the things that you hate. So how can he lead your people, man? He can't. He can't. Which is why the Lord is telling us to never pick them to reign over us, man. Which is why we should never, you understand, bow so low for them to reign over us because they can't, man. It's impossible. Read that from the top one more time.
Count on one concert. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. One, Salakia, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. Mm-hmm. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Which is not thy brother, man. He's a stranger, man. Joe Biden is a stranger. He ain't going to stand for black people. He ain't going to stand. Why would he? Why should he? You understand? Like the Christian church has made us so simple and so vain that you forget basic, you understand, basic things in life. Like what the hell makes Joe Biden even have the necessity or the desire to stand for black people? What is it? You understand? What is it? That's a question. I mean, there's millions of people voting today. There's a few of you online today, right now. A few of you online watching right now have voted. Explain to me what gives Joe Biden the necessity to stand for black people? What's the reason? What is it? Young man, you want to give it a shot?
There is no reason.
Give him a hand. There isn't a reason. There is no reason for Joe Biden to stand for black people. There's no reason for Donald Trump to stand for black people. You understand? No reason, especially not because he loves us, man. Especially not because he gives a damn about the condition that we're in. Not that he cares about George Floyd or Eric Gardner or Ahmaud Arbery or Sandra Bland or Mike or you understand, or any of the brothers, Trayvon Martin, any of the brothers and sisters that die daily, man, by the hands of his people. It's damn sure not because of that. You understand? And so because of that, we need to stop, as a nation of people, stop being so goddamn simple, man. Stop being so goddamn simple. But you know, we've been dumbed down. We are like a people are like the brother with a 300 credit score going to a Mazda dealership trying to get a car. We're like, brother, what the hell are you in here for? As if this dealer is even going to be able to do anything for you. You know he can't. You know why? Because if he got you a car and you got a goddamn 300 credit score, do you know what's going to happen to that dealer? He's fired. Yeah, he's fired. There's no way in hell that should have went through. What the hell makes you think Joe Biden is going to give you everything? What the hell makes you think? You've been so blinded, you've forgotten that Barack Obama didn't do nothing for you. Whether he identified as black or he understand he likes basketball, so maybe, you know, he's accepted in the black community, got a ghetto card. What makes you think that he is going to risk everything that he has to full out fledge his loyalty to you? He's not. Man, he didn't. You understand? He didn't. He did what he did for his campaign, for his family, for his people. You understand? Not for us. And that further proves why we should never go and vote for him. You understand? Read that scripture one more time from the top, and we're going to go to this question real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee. One, the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
Is there any more on that?
Not what you want to say, La.
Like go to chapter 18 and verse 15 real quick.
Sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 15. The Lord thy God will rise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee.
From the who?
From the midst of thee. Of thy brethren.
Of thy brethren. All throughout this Bible, you're going to hear the same thing over and over and over again. A prophet, a leader, you understand, a king. He has to come from the Lord, and he has to come from thy brethren, man. He has to be from the 12 tribes of Israel. There is no other way. Yes. There's no other king or ruler that has ever been from any other nation other than the nation of Israel. You understand? And it's you understand, like Christians will hear this and think, oh, you're a racist. You're a racist. What the hell is wrong with you, man? What the hell do you think that Chinese people are supposed to pick white people to be their king for? How the hell does that make sense? You think you're supposed to move from America to China? Chinese people who have been living in kung fu, you understand, what else do they do? Buddha, all types of fighting and noodles and chopsticks, and that's their life. That's what they do. And you're supposed to go and make decisions for them? That's what you're going to do? You're going to go to Africa, and they've been killing each other, for one. You understand, living in huts and building cities and doing whatever the hell they're doing. God knows what the hell they're doing. Ain't got nothing to do with us. But you're supposed to go over there from a different nation, and they're supposed to pick you to lead them? It don't make sense, do it? It makes more sense that an African just leads the Africans. He's been there. You know, it makes sense that, you know, he's this Chinese man. He's been over there with the, you know, he know how to use chopsticks like them. So he might as well be the leader. It makes sense for the Russian right? Who can speak Russian,
Right.
who lived in Russia, knows what it feels like to live in the cold and in the mountains of Russia, that, you know, he should just grow up and be the king of Russia or whatever they call it, the president of Russia.
Right.
It makes more sense that way, but not to us. Not to us. Not the blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't make sense to us, man. That we should have a ruler that comes from us. That we should have a king to reign, to make decisions that come from us. That live the life that we live, man. That died the deaths that we go through every day. Who's got family members who died from police brutality. Who's got family members, uncles and fathers who died because of child support. Who's in prison because of child support. Who got family members who are broken because of abortion. Because of violence in the community. Because of gang violence. It doesn't make sense that, oh, maybe we should pick him. Maybe that brother. Well, there's a brother who lived that life. There was a brother who was born poor just like you and I, who lived in the ghettos just like you and I, and loved his people. And his name is Christ, man, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And that's who the Lord chose. That's who the Lord chose for us to follow. You understand? Read that again from the top.
Kind of one kind, sir. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet for the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken.
Unto him ye shall hearken. Unto him. The Lord is already picked, man. The Lord is already picked. And under Christ, you got Commander General Yohana, man, the head of the ISUPK, man. And the Lord picked him. Nobody went to the ISUPK ballots and voted. You understand? Like, okay, let's see here. We got Tahar. we got Bishop Nathaniel. We got what's the other one? Rakar. We got Ashar. We got Tazadakia. Who you voting for, brother? Who you voting for? Well, Tazadakia, he's gonna raise the tithes to about 30%. I heard. I ain't going with that brother right there. Tahar said something about, the garments, we gonna have to not make nice ones. We gonna have to look ragged and rugged. And he said something about we gonna have to rape girls. I ain't going with him. Nah, I ain't going with him. I might go with somebody else. Well, Nathaniel's a cop. He's a cop. Yeah. Well, I want to be a cop. I might go with him. You understand? It don't work that way, man. You understand? The Lord don't choose in that way. The Lord chose it, especially that's why Commander General Yohana is so beautiful in the way that it spanned out. The brothers who was before him, he didn't start it. You understand? But he was the last one to hold on to it. Living in a goddamn basement, man. I don't know if you brothers have ever seen the picture of that basement. It looked like the same basement they shot the end of Jeepers Creepers 1 in, man. You understand? Look just like that. Up in I think it's in Philly or New York, in D.C., knowing there's some rats up in there, man. And they slept in there, man. That's how the Lord chose. That's why when you see them roll the way that they roll and you look at them, man, that's why they're deserving of the respect that they've got, the honor that they've gotten. Not because somebody voted them, but because they put in the work, man, and the Lord chose them to hold that seat. That's why they're in it. You understand? But drop that. We're going to go to the sixth question. Sis said, and we're going to hop right back on topic unless there's any other questions on Facebook or YouTube. One. No sweat. All right, no sweat. All right, the sixth question was, can you talk about what created the division in the house between the mother, father, and children, and what it takes to bring a broken family back together? All right, with that, you're going to have to let me see here. Kawal, can you pull up for me the what I want right here is I want the the Willie Lynch letter, right? I want the breaking of the Negro woman or the nigger woman. It's one of the two. Breaking of the Negro woman or the nigger woman. Let me know when you get it. Also, sis, to double check, you're not talking about a scripture, are you? Are you just talking about just in the world?
I got it whenever you're ready, sir.
You got it?
Got it, okay.
All right, read from a point. I'll tell you if to go up or down.
Got on one kind, sir. Salaki. This excerpt comes from the Willie Lynch letter. It's called "The Breaking Process of the African Woman."
Now, right now, I'm gonna touch just basically on the husband and wife. You understand that you asked about? Keep going.
Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly.
Okay, I think this is where I want to be, right? So the question was basically how have black families become, separated? How have we become broken as a whole, as a nation? You understand? The mother from the father from the sons, the daughters from the mothers, just as a whole. You understand? It's not very common to see black families being together. You understand? I think it was a couple that I may have seen in my lifetime, but it wasn't, from my lifetime. Really, it was before my time, which was not the Huxtables, right? Bill Cosby, and what's the other one? I think Good Times, right? They was a 12 family, right? Mother, father. I think the father ended up dying, right? He passed away. But before that, even after that, there was a family, right? Is there any other ones? I think there was another one. There was another one with the bald-headed dude. What's that,
Family
brother?
Matters.
Family Matters. That's when he smacked the kid on the back of the head, right? Family Matters. A few shows. Okay, but the main one that I could think of would be either Good Times or the Huxtables, which, of course, the Huxtables, they destroyed that. Apparently, that wasn't a good family because the head of the household was, you understand, doing what they wanted, what they brought up. You all know that story. But there is a reason why, you understand, you will see mostly the reason why the majority of the time that a family is broken, it starts from that mother and that father not being able to stay together, right? It starts from them not being able to build that family. And so because of that, we have broken households. You have a father that's been kicked out the house because the mother is a dragon. You got the father who leaves the house because he's a drug addict or an alcoholic, and he can't stay because he's fighting oppression. You understand? He's fighting being a black man in America or whatever reason. There's 100 reasons why a brother would do what he would do or a woman would do what he would do. But it all stems back to the point, which is what, as a brother or a sister, especially in this school, you have to always remember in the back of your mind, whenever you're dealing with broken families, drug addicts, alcoholics, homeless people, drug dealers, gangbangers, all of the wicked in the world, you have to remember one thing. I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing you have to remember when you go outside of these walls and you see the broken families and you see the drugs? You see the wickedness in the world. What do we have to remember, young man?
But they don't have the truth.
They don't. But it's more so. That's correct. That's correct. They don't have the truth. But you don't want to be Christian, right? A Christian would look at homeless people and say what? They need Jesus. A Christian would look at gangbangers and say they need Jesus. They need Jesus this. They need Jesus that. What should they say? What should be the saying?
You should have some mercy and say the reason why they're like that is because they're oppressed. And the so-called white man's
Give him a hand. You see those drug dealers on the street and those drug abusers and those alcoholics and those fathers that's left and those mothers who have raised broken households and those children who are mentally ill. You understand, from drugs. You see all the wicked things that's in the streets. You don't want to be a Christian that looks at them like they're just broke. What you want to remember is that they were broken by someone. Someone broke them. Someone pushed those drugs in the community for them to use anyway. So you want to remember that. You're a child and your father was not in your life. He wasn't in your life. He left you when you was a baby. Never spoke to you. You understand? You don't want to be a Christian and hate him forever. What do you want to remember? He left to go sell drugs because of what? Because he is impoverished, man. Because he was enslaved, man. Because he wanted to live a lifestyle, the same lifestyle that you want to live. The same way you want to buy cars and you want to buy houses and you want to live life luxurious. He wanted to live the same way. The same way you want to not die by the age of 21 because you're broke and you're poor and you're black. He wanted to live the same way. So what did he do? He went out and he tried to go get it the best way he could. And what did that mean? That mean he had to leave you to do it. That mean he couldn't be in the household with you. He had to go on that street corner to do it. He had to go rob a bank to do it. He had to go be in a gang to live the life that he wanted to live. Not because he wanted to choose that route, but because that was what was given to him, man. It was given to him. Your father didn't bring the goddamn drugs in the community for him to sell. They didn't bring the goddamn guns. They didn't manufacture the weapons for them to go out there and kill each other, but they got them. And there's other brothers on the block that got them too. So what is your father going to do? Just die? Or is he going to beef up? Is he going to go out there and gain some protection with a gang that's already been established out there for him to join? Is he going to go and live the lifestyle that's been there for him to live? What about your mother? She's going to live the lifestyle that she was taught. What she has seen. She's going to speak the way that someone spoke to her. She's going to raise you the way that someone raised her. It could be corrected, but you should not blame them. That's right. You understand? You should blame the white man. You should hate him and love your father. You should hate him and love your mother. You should forgive your mother and your father and your brothers out there on them streets. And you should take that hate and put it back to where it belongs, man. Put it back to them devils that you voting for that put the goddamn drugs in your community, man. That's who you should vote against, man. As Christ would have you do. You should remember that. Remember that. You understand? Who had their hand raised? Go ahead, what you got?
The precept for what you were saying, other ones. Deuteronomy chapter 28:54.
Mm-hmm.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom.
The eyes shall be evil towards his brother, man. That's what we see today. We cannot love each other. We don't know how to prefer one another. We don't know what it means to have brotherhood because it's been beaten out of us, man. That's right. It's been broken. You understand? And so that's why you see so much. It's almost, you understand how wicked this place is, how evil it is, that it is glorified to not have a father and still make it. It's glorified. It's as if you've won some kind of award. That your father was not in your life, but somehow you still grinded and you made it without a father. That is not to be glorified here. It is not to be loved and spoken about as if it's some kind of achievement. You ain't achieved a goddamn thing because your father left you. You are merely, you understand, you are merely, what is the word I'm looking for? A result of what this white man had wanted you to go through. You're a result to what Willie Lynch had brought upon us. You're a result to what our slave masters beat and slaughtered us. You're merely a result. You should never bask in the glory that you've came up against all the odds stacked against you. You shouldn't bask in that. You should be angry that there are odds stacked against you. That's what you should be angry about, man. And you should forgive. Forgive those broken brothers, man. Forgive those broken sisters that the white man has broke and put against you. Your father didn't just leave you. He didn't. He came up in a system that it was taught that he should do it. Why the hell do you think so many of them do it? Why the hell you think it happens so goddamn much? Are you dumb? Are you an idiot? Are you that so goddamn simple that you don't realize that your father left your house? Well, that's normal. It's normal. Oh, your brother, he's a drug dealer. Well, that's normal. Your mom is a loudmouth dragon. Well, that's normal. Are you so simple? You think that just because it happens to you, it's so bad. It's happened to all of us. It's happened to every black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. And all of us choose to hate our father. All of us choose to hate our mother. All of us choose to hate our brother when we should choose to love him. We should choose to forgive him. And we should choose to hate the man who's put us in this condition. That's what we should do. Thus saith the Most High in Christ, man. You understand? Keep reading.
Sir. His eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Which he shall what?
Which he shall leave.
Which he shall what?
He shall leave.
You think this just a 2020 thing, huh? You think this just a your problem, huh? You don't think that the Lord has the answers for your problem. You think that your father left you and you the only one. You think that your life is so bad, huh? It's in the Bible. It's in there. You understand? I'm sorry you've been in a Christian church for your whole goddamn life and your pastors never taught you a goddamn thing. But it's in the Bible. Your life, it's in there. Your problems are right there. Your demons that you got to fight is right there. It's right there. Keep going.
So that he will not give to any of them the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat. And in the straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates.
The enemy shall do what?
The enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates.
They shall distress thee in all thy gates. Everything he tries to do, he's going to lose. Right. Everything. Until he ends up in a graveyard or in prison. Right. Everything. You understand? You know how many brothers are in this world who commit crimes, who are wholeheartedly trying to support their family. Wholeheartedly. You know how many brothers rob banks and stores because they wholeheartedly are trying to get money to support their family. Do you know how many of them are sitting in prison right now, would not murder anyone, would not sell drugs to anyone? They just wanted to live. And because of the oppression that we have, living is not that easy while doing it while black. You think about that. The next time you wanna look down on those brothers in them streets. You wanna look down on those brothers who got felony charges, who was in and out of jail, in and out of prison, homeless, selling drugs on the street. You look down on you think differently when you decide to look down on them, man. Right. You understand? Because they live in this same world just like we do. They've gone through the same things that we've gone through. You understand? Granted, we need to make changes in our communities, man. We need to make changes amongst the nation of Israel to teach those brothers the way that we should go about living here. But you shouldn't charge them with every crime. The white man is going to charge them with everything. You understand? Is there any more on that?
Sir.
Keep reading.
The tender and delicate woman among you which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness.
Read that again from the top. Think about your mother when you hear this. Think about your mother when you hear this. You understand? Read that again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for the delicateness and tenderness. Her eyes shall be evil toward her son and toward her daughter. And
her eyes shall be evil towards what?
Her eyes shall be evil toward Salakia. Her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter.
And toward her husband and her son and her daughter. How many of you have ever seen Precious? They make it seem like it's a movie. It's Hollywood, right? No, that's us. It's us. And it's in the Bible. It's there. That demon is there. It's us. It's our people. That's how you know this book is talking about us. That's what we do. You understand? Keep going.
And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
And meaning, and she is distressed too. You understand? And everything that she does as a black woman in America, she is in distress. You understand? So that's why you shouldn't put the blame on her. Is there any more on that?
That's it.
Give me Zechariah 11 and verse 5. What you got, young man?
Or go straight to prison.
Not every time.
When the white man gets pulled over, they let him off with a warning.
Sometimes. You understand? The Lord chooses and decides what goes on with that. But there is a more likely chance that you could go to prison while being black, right? Because this system, or America, which is ruled by our oppressor, is not in rulership to save your people. They're in rulership to keep your people in check and destroyed like we are. You understand? And so that's why, because you know that, what should you do? What should you do knowing that? You've learned today that you have a higher chance when you walk outside these doors that the white man will be against you more so than your friend Johnny or Jack or whatever, Sam. So what should you do because of that? Anybody? Pass the mic back. Go ahead.
You should obey the Lord. You separate.
You should obey the Lord, and obeying the Lord means what?
Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and then also what? Meaning, remember, these officers out here will shoot you. They will do it. And you know it now. It's not a secret. It's out there. Black people are targeted. So what does that mean you should do?
Never trust them and stay out of the way.
Close, sis. La. What should you do? It's right there. It's in front of you. You know it. You know what you should do. You do it. You do it. Young man in the back.
Do everything right. Do what they tell you.
Give him a hand. Make sure you got your driver's license on you. And do everything right. You get pulled over, have your registration and driver's license and concealed gun permit if you got it. Have it all right there in your hands. Roll the windows down. Do everything right. You understand? Don't beg him for nothing. If he gives you a ticket, you give me the ticket and thank you, be on your day. If he takes you to jail, get out the car and go to jail. Don't beg him for nothing. Don't tell him where you was going and you in school and your baby, your wife is pregnant and you on the way. Don't tell him nothing. You'll just miss the birth of your child and you'll just go to jail. But you don't ever want to lose your honor to him. You understand? He's nothing compared to you. You let him do his job and you do yours, right? But you want to make sure that you're always right. You understand? Put your seatbelt on when you drive. Follow the laws. you understand, of this land, because the Lord would have it that way. And then, you understand, when you follow law, statutes, and commandments, then the Lord will protect you from all of those evil things that brothers in the world have to go through. Give me Zechariah 11 and verse 5.
Kind of a concert. The book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Whose oppressors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
They will make so many sitcoms and so put so much information out there about how your father is not in the house. They will put so many movies and so many songs about how black people sell drugs. They will push the agenda about how black women run their mouth and kick men out the house. They will push everything that's broken about us, and they will not hold themselves accountable for none of it. They won't say that they've had anything to do with anything that is wrong in the black community. Nothing. They came to this country, right? And this to paint the picture for you. They came to this country, and they found the people, the Gadite brothers and the Simeon brothers, right? Native American Indians, for those who don't know. And they were a peaceful people for the most part. And they sought to make peace with them and to learn the language and to learn how to work the land and to learn how to survive the winter and to grow crops and to use the buffalo to make clothing and for food and all that. And then they turned around and gave them smallpox. And then they made peace treaties with these people. They made over 100 peace treaties. How many did they keep? Anybody know? Top one.
Salaki, sir, none of them.
0, right? I want these type of things. You have the same way you got to forgive your father. Same way you got to think about, you got to dig deep in yourself and fight those demons to forgive him. You got to dig deep to reconnect yourself to these stories. You got to, because for so long we've been disconnected. We talk about Native American Indians like, all them niggas. Them niggas went through something, whatever, Thanksgiving. But dig deep. Put yourself there. Imagine it. Imagine we're a tribe of people and we've lived with each other. We got kids, just like we got children. We got kids in here. We got women in here. Think about your grandparents. We got elderly in here. You got sisters in here that you love, brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles that you'll love and that you'll die for, nephews and cousins. And we all just a tribe of people. And we just tilling the ground, going out. You going out with your uncle, going out hunting a buffalo. He's teaching you how to fish. The sisters is creating the garments. Living. We're living life. And then here comes the people, and you watching from afar, you're like, okay, we gonna make this, so-called peace treaty, I guess. You don't know what the hell it is, but they saying peace. And so the head of your tribe signs it. Says, okay, all right, y'all can stay over there. We're gonna stay right here, and y'all do what y'all do. We're gonna do what we do. Y'all gonna do what you feel me. We ain't gonna exterminate y'all over there. And that's where we at. And then over time, even though they have a peace treaties, sometime in the middle of the night, you're walking and you see your grandmother carrying water from the river, and then you see her get murdered in the middle of the night. And you see your little brother and your little sister get slaughtered in the middle of the night. And you see the tents of your mom and your father on fire in the middle of the night. And you hear cries and screams because of dead loved ones in the middle of the night. And you have to run. You have to fight with yourself, whether to die with your uncles that stays and fight, whether to die with the remnant of your tribe that stays and fight, knowing they're going to die, or to run. Now, I think they in psychology, what they call it, the fight or flight syndrome. That happened back then. Some people stood and fought and died. Some people ran, and they ran and ran and ran. It's called the Trail of Tears. They kept getting pushed, lied to and pushed, lied to and pushed, lied to and slaughtered, pushed back, man. And now they got stuck on reservations. Kept getting pushed on reservations, pushed to a new reservation, pushed to a new reservation, cramped up. To now here we are living in tents beside highways. What does the white man say about them Native American Indians on them reservations? What does he say about them? Anybody know?
It says they're a bunch of, drug addicts and drunks.
And alcoholics, man.
That's right.
Our possessors slay us and hold themselves not accountable. They've created us to be alcoholics. They've created your fathers to be alcoholics. They've created your mothers to be the way that they are. They've created your children to be the way that they are. They've created all of the conditions that we are in. And so because of that, what must we do? What is it that we have to do? Knowing that, knowing them Native American Indians, they ain't just no alcoholics, man. They ain't just decide to be alcoholics. They once were not. There once was a time where a black man loved his family and would never leave. That was the standard. It once was a time that we lived that life. There once was a time where a woman loved her husband and would never leave. And that was the standard. There once was a time where children obeyed their parents and would never disobey. There once was a time. Knowing that, what do we have to do? Young man.
Obey the law.
Obey the law, but one other thing. Something that's hard. It's hard for the nation of Israel to do. It's very hard. It's damn near the hardest thing that we can do. It's easy to just say, okay, we just hate the white man. That's easy. It's easy to say, okay, we just stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. It's easy. But remember, the damage is done. Them Native American Indians are already alcoholics. They already doing it. Your father already left. Your mother has already raised you, and she badmouthed you every day. Your uncles are already crackheads. They're drug addicts. They've stolen everything from out of your house. It's already happened. You ain't getting that TV back. You ain't getting it back. Our community has already been destroyed. Harlem was destroyed at one point because of the crack epidemic. Baltimore was destroyed, boarded up houses. That's our communities. That's where we lived. That's what we known and loved. Durham, Black Wall Street was destroyed. We lost everything. They lost it. Our uncles and our fathers and grandfathers lost Black Wall Street. We had it. They should have had it so that we could not have to be poor. We should be in Durham living rich. It should be got them Corvettes and everything riding around this mug. You understand? They should have kept it, but they lost it. They lost it. Now it's nothing but a remnant. It's nothing but pictures and paintings and stories. It's a ghost town for us. The damage is done. So now, yeah, we got to follow the laws, but it's another thing that we got to do. I'll give you a hint before you answer. You look outside these doors. You see those brothers who have lost their life to drugs. Some of them older ones were the ones who lost Wall Street. They're the ones who lost it. They're the ones who had it and lost it. They're here. They're right outside. We ain't talking about hundreds of years ago. We're talking about 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and they lost it. And they're still here. And you look at them every day. And your Christian grandmother says, they need Jesus. Those disgusting niggas, get away from my car. That's how they look at them. What do we have to do?
We got to stand and fight.
We do. We got to follow them laws. It's one other thing. Kowal, not Kowal, and sis. Oh, go ahead, sis. What you got?
You gotta love them.
Close. We're going to love them.
Forgive them.
Give her a hand.
Forgive them.
we gotta forgive them. Forgive them. You understand? And realize that they didn't just lose Wall Street. It wasn't sand that just ran through the fingers of their hands. Someone took it. Someone took it from them. You understand? Keep reading what you got at.
Kind of one concert. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not.
Right. Drop that. Go back to the Willie Lynch.
This is an excerpt from the Willie Lynch letter called The Breaking Process of the African Woman. Take the female and run a series of tests on her to see if she will submit to your desires willingly.
These tests were everything you could think of. You understand? Dissecting her, sculpting her, going into her brain, seeing how big her brain was compared to other brains. Every kind of test. You understand? Just seeing if she would come have sex with you, seeing if a woman who wasn't married would come have sex with you, seeing at what age would the black woman come have sex with you, seeing if she would have sex with you and another white man, seeing if she would let you do this to her. All kinds of tests just to see if she would submit to you, seeing if by beating her would that make her have sex with you. You understand? I'm using that term because them stinking white men wanted to just have sex with you, which is why it's so disgusting that today our sisters would willingly have sex with them. You understand? Keep going.
Test her in every way because she is the most important factor for good economics.
What does that mean? What does it mean that the woman was the most important factor for good economics? What is economics? Good, if you got it.
It's like money, buying, business.
Right? It's like what? Commerce. It's how the world goes round, right? It's supply and demand, things like that. So, if she was the most important thing in economics, what does that mean?
Basically, if I may, you know what I'm saying? It's saying like if you can control the black woman, you know what I'm saying, then you can therefore control the black man. Basically, because it's all about running the plantation. That's the whole point of the Willie Lynch letter. It's like how you know what I mean, get your plantation to run as smoothly as possible so you can make money. So it's like in order for you to get your plantation running, you got to be able to control the black woman first and foremost.
Right.
Okay.
But that's correct. But more so, I want you to think, it's more, young man.
So they're getting free labor. You know, she produces, that's where the black people come from. That's
Right.
So she's producing more free labor.
Right.
So she's teaching the free labor, so you get her straight first, and then you'll have,
right.
She teaches the young exactly what you put in her.
Which is why the black woman is that forefront tool against the whole family. Right? She is the best. She is the most important thing for good economics, because if you have one nigger slave who can work for 20 years, and he's a great worker for 20 years, a mediocre worker for 10 years after that, and then not really good after, the next 5 years. After those years is done, he's done. There's nothing else he can do. But if you have a woman, she can also work for 20 years, be good for 10 years, and in 5 years. But then she can also replace her damn self with more than her. You understand? She can give you 10 more of her. So that's why she is good for economics, which is how they looked at us. They looked at us as a product. You understand? Keep going.
Khan. If she show any sign of resistance in submitting completely to your will, do not hesitate to use the bullwhip on her to extract the last bit of bitch out of her.
Good night. Is that what it says? It says the last bit of the B word. Good night. You understand? Good night. Our oppressor is diabolical, man. He is such a beast, man, in his ways. But that's what they did. They would whoop her to do what? Well, to make her have sex with you. That's what they would do, to make her be in obedience to him. to do what he would say to do, right? Keep going.
Kalawakan. Take care not to kill her, for in doing so, you spoil good economics.
If you kill her, you can't have more nigger babies, right? Keep going.
When in complete submission, she will train her offspring in the early years to submit to labor when they become of age. Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into the area of the subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female nigger. We have reversed the relationship. In her natural uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male.
So our oppressor would call us how we were uncivilized. And our unnatural to them, unnatural, uncivilized state, all women would have a dependent state to their husband, to the male, right? To the men in a community, a tribe, whatever. And that goes against what we learn about today. It goes against the INPEN, all of that nonsense that we push today with our women in society today. And it goes, you understand, it goes completely against that. That was never how we were. We, as a people, our women were always dependent on the male. Were always dependent on that man. You understand? And our oppressor seen that. And because he seen that, he knew that that woman was going to give power to that man. And when you give that man power, he is going to usurp that against us and destroy us. So how was he going? Like, have you ever seen one of those movies where it's like it's like two armies, two bad guys, good guys going against each other? And if you ever notice, it's never like, let's say me and I'm the red people and Thabuan's the blue people. I'm the Avengers, he's something else. I don't know. It's never the movie. It's never this. I got to kill all of him. I got to kill all of them. It's never that. It's always he has power generators that's supplying his power, that's keeping his drop ships afloat, something like that. We got to take out the power generators. It's always something like that. You always have to take out the thing that is supplying the power to this force. Take out what it is that gives him strength. Take that out and he'll fall. And so that's what they did. They went for our power generators. They went for our suppliers. They went for the thing that when we came home from a long day of work, working in the field, you understand, doing extra, trying to figure out how the hell we was going to get out of slavery, they took away the thing that was going to nurture us. You understand? That was going to care for us. That was going to go out there and cook a good meal for us so that we can be strong. That was going to tend to our wounds so that we could go out the next day and do it again. That was going to take care of them children so that we can go fight. You understand? They took away that. So now we have to worry about other things. We got to worry about things that we were never supposed to have to worry about, which was the job of that wife, of that woman. Because she was dependent on us, you understand, we depended on her for that power supply. You understand? That's why it's very important for our sisters to get back right. Right? Keep going.
Khan. And she would have a limited protective tendency toward her independent male offspring and would raise male offsprings to be dependent like her.
She would raise the men and otherwise be weak. That's what she would raise them, to be weak like her. Keep going.
Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reverse nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger.
Salakia, read that last part one more time.
Khan.
Scratch what I just said. Read that again.
Nature had provided for this type of balance.
Before that.
Khan. And she would have a limited protective tendency toward her independent male offspring.
This is naturally, the woman had a limited protective tendency, meaning what? The boy wanted to go play in the jungle, go play in the jungle. Right. The boy wanted to go hunt the alligators and the bears, go hunt the alligators and bears. The boy wanted to go out and do whatever the hell he was doing. Let the boy go out and do whatever the hell he was doing. She had a very low, you understand, tendency to protect him, She let him go out and be a man. Think about your mothers. Remember this. Think about how your mothers were with your brothers. Think about how she was with you and how protective she was of you. You understand? Keep going.
And will raise male offsprings to be dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reverse nature by burning and pulling a civilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the other to the point of death.
They reverse that balance by bullwhipping us. You understand? Taking that male and raping him in front of everyone. Burning him at the stake, tar and feather, embarrassing him in front of everyone. You understand? Keep going.
All in her presence.
While she watched. So imagine now we're in that same tribe, and you see the men. You understand? In every group, you always see the men who you think, those are the protectors, right? Everywhere you go, even if you're in college, you look at those. It's some dudes that you look at and you say, he's the fighter. He's the big dog on camp. He's the one. You look in the room. You say, well, if something went down right now, I'm going to go to him and him and him. This brother right now, maybe not so much. You always looked at them. So imagine they took that man. The man you looked at, the man who you felt protected around. As a sister, you ever been around a man or maybe like a grandfather or father who was strong, and when you was around him, it didn't matter where you was at. You just felt protected. You just felt like it didn't matter what the hell was going on. It's Bloods and Crips about to kill each other in front of us. It don't matter because I'm protected. Imagine they take him, you understand, and they tie him up and they rape him in front of you and they bullwhip him in front of you and make him scream like a little girl in front of you, and they leave him there for everyone to see. What does that make you feel? What does it indirectly make you feel? Don't think about the sadness you would have. Don't think about how hurt you would be. But indirectly, what would it make you feel? Okay. Let me put it in perspective for you. Let's say we in the woods, right? We all in the woods, and there's some kind of, I don't know, how many of y'all have ever seen Predator? Have y'all seen Predator? Okay, this is a zombie movie. Let's go with a zombie goddamn movie then. This is a zombie goddamn apocalypse going on. Zombies is outside going crazy. And you got the man who you think is going to protect you. You seeing him, zombies got into the house and he handling them business. He done killed like 30 of them by himself. And you over there, you just like, man, I'm good. I got my little blade, but I got him. Imagine if one day, like, just 2 zombies came in, opened the door, and like just took him. And he tried to fight and do what he did. And they were just like, nah, nigga, tied him up, put him down on the ground, and had him screaming in front of you. And that day, what would you feel? I know y'all know. Sis.
As I thought he was.
You wouldn't feel that. You would feel something a little bit more. I mean, you would know that, but it's something. Bask in the moment. Imagine you in the moment. There's zombies everywhere, and this man protects you. They just mutilated him in front of you. What do you now feel? Helpless. Right. Helpless. You have no protection. Even the strongest man can't protect you no more. That what was funny? I was over there. Y'all cracking me up, man. Come on. But you feel helpless, man. There is no more protection because the strongest man just fell. And so what are you going? You gonna kill them 2 zombies? Sis in the back said, yeah. Good night. But realistically, you going the man who you would never even think to put hands on because you knew he would knock your head off in 0.5 seconds, and he just got mutilated by this beast. You gonna go after that beast? No, you're not. You're going to feel helpless. Well, that's what these sisters felt back then. You understand? Keep going.
By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychologically dependent state to a frozen, independent state. In this frozen psychological state of
so she became independent, meaning what? She had to protect herself. She had to protect herself. So she had to, go to Rwanda or whatever, what is it, Wakanda, shave her head bald and learn how to fight and become the baddest warrior in the whole of Africa to protect herself. You understand? Because the black man can no longer do it because we had been broken by that beast. And so now she's independent. Now she gonna go get the money. Now she gonna go and work and she gonna run the household her damn self. Now she gonna be out there. You see the movie, she be trying to change the tire. I got it. She be turning it the wrong way the whole time. I got it. I'm not, you can't help her. You can't tell her nothing. You can't tell her a goddamn thing. She knows every goddamn thing. She's going to do it her damn self. She'll figure it out on her own. When before, she would never even think to figure out anything on her own. She would always come to you. She would always come with it would be damn near annoying how much she would come to you for anything. The light is flickering. How do you do? Just tap the shit. Salaki, just hit it. Oh, you're such a man. You understand? She would come to you for every goddamn thing. Everything. And what would that force us to be as men? What would that force us to be? This is something that black women across America need to pay very close attention to, what I'm about to say here. Tell your friends. You need to make a clip about this. Make this a clip right here. I'm about to give you the answer. If a woman stopped being so goddamn ignorant and independent and started to depend on her husband and said, how do we fix the vacuum? How do we get this? How do we change this? Babe, I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you for every goddamn thing. What would it force the brother to become?
Well, technically like a maid.
See, he said like a maid. You ain't got it? Try the brother in the back, young man in the back.
To be the man of the house.
It would force him to become everything that you are asking for. Everything. It'll force him to be your hero again. That's what it would force him to do. Because he would know, well, if I want the girl, I'm going to have to learn how to fix a vacuum. Because girls need help with vacuums, and they going to come to me. They going to know if I want her, I'm going to have to know how to change a tire. I'm going to have to learn it. Because I know my girl is going to have a car, and she's going to come to me before she goes to anyone else. Right. She ain't going to go to her father. She ain't going to go to her uncle, her cousins, or Jiffy Lube, or Meineke, or anywhere else. She going to come to me first. So if I want to get the girl, if I want the bad little thing, I'm going to have to learn some skills. It would force us to have to be the hero again. It will force us to not be weak, to learn how to be protectors of the house again. But because of this damage, we're not needed. We're not needed anymore. You understand? Keep going.
In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles.
She will raise them differently. You understand? She'll raise the male to be very feminine, indirectly, not something that she is even trying to do. It is something that just happens because she'll protect him too damn much. And she'll raise the woman to be the head of the house. That's why so many of us have sisters who is the head of the house. It's just like that. For so long, we never understood how the hell did this little brat get to just run her mouth and get everything. Right. It's because of this. You understand? But forgive your parents. Forgive them for it. Forgive her for it because it wasn't us who decided this. It was because of this. Keep going.
For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong.
She would train him to say yes, sir, master. Why? Because she didn't want him to go and suffer the same fate that her husband suffered. That strong man who was bullwhipped and spread apart till his limbs came apart had to suffer. She would train him to be weak and feminine and soft, to not be a threat to the man who can destroy him. And indirectly would train the woman to be strong. You understand? Keep going.
Because she has become psychologically independent, she will train her female offspring to be psychologically independent. What?
So what? What does that mean? What does that mean? Your mother is going to tell you what? You don't need no man.
That's right.
I didn't raise you to be like that. You don't need to depend on nobody. Your mother's wrong. Your mother goes against everything that is black, that is our culture. But you should forgive her for that. Forgive her for that. You understand? And take that love and give it back to her, and take that hate and give it back to where it belongs. To the man who trained her to be that way, who broke her to be that way. You understand? Who lied to her and taught her to be that way. You put that hate back to them.
Right.
But she was wrong. You understand? Keep going.
What have you got? You've got the nigger woman out front and the nigger man behind and scared. This is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. Before the breaking process, we had to alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He is a good tool, now ready to be tied to the horse at a tender age. By the time a nigger boy reaches the age of 16, he is soundly broken in and ready for a long life of sound and efficient work and reproduction of a unit of good labor force.
And all of this, Willie Lynch had a number of letters and a number of different subtopics and topics that he used on the banks of Virginia to teach the slave owners how to break us, right? You understand? Because Willie Lynch, if I'm not mistaken, he was a slave owner on the islands. And so because he was on the island, he had to use harsh tactics to keep his slaves intact, because if they were to revolt on an island, they would be, they'd be effed up, because the only help you can get has to come across the ocean. And then by that time, your head would probably be on a stake. It'll be over. You understand? So he brought those tactics up here, which in return broke us to the point to where we are now. You understand? So to answer the sis question, the reason why our families are discombobulated and destroyed is because our oppressor has destroyed it. That's it. Because they've broken it and made us to be this way. And which is why it's so important that we come back to our culture. We come back to our customs. We come back to a woman knowing her role, to a male knowing his role, to the children knowing their role. You understand? And learning how to rebuild the families again. What you all are here, what you all in here are doing is very important, especially the children, because you will be the first of a new age of blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians here in America who is going to utterly go against what America has beaten into our minds. And you are going to be the ones to destroy it. You're the ones who are going to end the stories of your fathers being out the household. There won't be fathers out of the household when it comes to this truth. There won't. There won't be mothers who blatantly disrespect their husbands and are independent, you understand, leaning on themselves when it comes to this truth. You are the ones who are going to make that change, which is why this is so important. You understand? But drop that. What's the time? Somebody give me a time check. All right, no sweat on them, God. Let's go through these scriptures right now. I just want to make sure we go through these voting scriptures real quick. Get me Jeremiah 23 and verse 1. I'm going to get your questions. Everybody, questions on the chat? Real quick, we got 8 minutes. We're going to try to get through this very quick, right? Does the Bible speak of a physical war between the Israelites and the Edomites for all of the things they've done to us, or is that battle only for Yahweh Shai? I'm going to try to get that question last. Brother, I see your question as well. What you got? You got a question? What you got? You got the scripture out? All right, no sweat. Go ahead. What you got?
Is it okay for a male to act feminine? And if not, can you please explain why?
It is not okay for a man to act feminine. Well, first of all, what is femininity? What does it mean to be feminine? Young man in the back.
To be like a female.
All right. Somebody want to look at the definition?
It's the definition of feminine. Having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with women.
Right. So, is it wrong? Yes. Why shouldn't you do it? Well, are you a woman? Are you a woman? So why would you want to act like a woman? The Lord, that will be unnatural to the Lord. You understand? Are you a giraffe? Would you walk around like you a giraffe? Would you bark like you a dog? Why?
I'm not those things.
All right. You understand? And that's why you should never be feminine, because you're not a woman. What you got?
Also, what are some things that'll make you feminine?
Some things that'll make you feminine is running your mouth too much. You understand? That's a feminine concept. That's something that they would do. A man has to know when to shut the hell up. You understand? You can't be able to tell a woman to shut the hell up and you don't know how to too, right? You also, as a man, this is something that you can go back and you can ask your fathers, right? You can ask your fathers exactly what it means to be a man, some of the concepts of what is the difference between being a man and a female, and he'll be able to shed some more light on what those things are. You understand? But you, as a man, you want to be someone who takes responsibility, right? You want to train yourself and gird yourself up to be a man who is responsible for everything under your wing. Everything. You understand? Your woman shouldn't be responsible for nothing. That doesn't mean she doesn't do anything, but the responsibility comes to you. Meaning what? If there are bills that need to be paid and your woman works, who's responsible for those bills? Young man. Anybody?
The man.
The man. Does that mean the man has to pay the bill?
No.
No. What does that mean?
They have to get it done.
Make sure that she pay that goddamn bill. You be responsible for it. You understand? Because if that house falls, if it breaks, who is going to be responsible for it breaking? They going to look at her? No. They going to look at the kids? No. They going to look at that man. So you make sure you take responsible for everything under your wing. You understand? That's one trait. That's what I'll give you today. But for time's sake, we're gonna move on. Read this. Start that scripture from verse 1.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
Telling us to vote. You understand? Keep going.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries, whether I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them.
And what?
And I will set up shepherds over them.
And what?
I will set up shepherds over them.
The Lord will set up shepherds. You understand? Leaders. Keep going.
which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord.
Keep going.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
Who is that talking about? Who is the righteous branch that is going to execute judgment and justice in the earth? Unto David, young man.
Yahusha?
Christ, you understand? Keep going.
Kind of one concert. And in his days, Judah shall be saved.
Not everyone, but Judah. Keep going.
And Israel shall dwell safely.
Not everyone, but Israel. Keep going.
And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt.
Meaning right now, we know the Lord because of the story of Moses. That was the slavery that we know. It's a glorified story where Moses was led out of the captivity of Egypt, and he departed the Red Sea. You understand? They make movies about it, the Prince of Egypt and stories and all of this that they make. But this is a prophecy saying that there will be a day where we won't mention that. That won't be the story that we talk about anymore. There's a day coming where that's not the hot topic anymore for the Lord, right? Keep going.
But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country.
Out of the what?
The north country.
Out of the what?
The north country.
There's going to be a day where we don't talk about how we was freed from Egypt, but when we was freed from that north country. What country are we in? Go ahead.
North America.
We're in North America. That's where we're at. There'll be a day where we're going to speak of the Lord's name of how he freed us from that captivity where we are right now. You understand? Keep going.
And from all countries, whether I had driven them.
And from all countries where he scattered the nation of Israel. He scattered the nation of Israel through all four corners of the earth, meaning we're everywhere. And he's going to bring us up out of there. Keep going.
And they shall dwell in their own land.
And we'll dwell in our own land, in that new kingdom. You understand? Drop that. Get me Ephesians 6 and verse 12. Let me get that with you. We'll start at verse 10.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Meaning don't go out and vote, man. Well, voting ain't going to do nothing for our condition and for our people. Be strong in the Lord, man. And the power of his might. Keep going.
Put on the whole armor of God.
Put on the whole armor. When you go out here into this world, take these scriptures with you. Take these laws with you and know that everything that you do is right and correct and righteous, man. Put on the armor of the Lord. Keep going.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That you may be able to stand against whoever the hell they put in office.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You understand? Keep going.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
For we not wrestling against each other. Keep going.
But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world.
Who are the rulers of darkness in this world? What is the darkness?
The so-called white man.
Right. But who is the ruler? Think about today. What is today? What is the darkness, Salaki? What does it mean to be in the dark? Young man in the back. Oh.
Usually when someone says they're like in the dark, like they don't know.
Not in this context. It's not what they don't know in this context.
It will be Donald Trump or Joe Biden. It will be being in the dark means there's no truth. They don't have the truth.
Right. It's not righteous, right? And the darkness is Las Vegas. It's Sin City. It's just you can have a son and turn him into a girl and all that nonsense or whatever. What the hell they be doing? You could turn him into a moose or something like that. Whatever. You can identify as a giraffe and all of that. All of that is the darkness, but that's the world that we live in. Who are the rulers of that darkness? Like the brother said, Joe Biden. You understand the governors, the Senate. You understand the Congress, the president, Donald Trump. These are the rulers of that darkness. Keep going.
Against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Spiritual. Donald Trump has never done anything to any of you ever. He's never grabbed any of you by the box. He's never laid hands on any of you in here. How many of you in here has ever seen Donald Trump in person? That's a serious question. It's probably one or two of you, but has you seen him in person? Anybody else has ever seen him in person? Like, I imagine a few people. I mean, it's Donald Trump, but it's rare. Like I've never seen Barack Obama in person. I've never seen a president in person ever. In my lifetime, I've never seen it, or a vice president. Nothing even like that or even close. I've never seen it. So they're not the ones harming us. But there's what? Read that part again.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
But it's spiritual wickedness in those places in those seats that they sit in. You understand? That's what we're wrestling against. Keep going.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand.
Now, with that being said, you understand? That is what we're supposed to be doing here in America. We're supposed to be girding up our loins, man, putting on our breastplates and our you understand, our shields, and putting the whole armor of the Most High with this truth, knowing that what we do is not carnal. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principality. You know what you got to fight? You got to fight stop smoking weed.
Right.
You got to fight stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. Right. You have to fight to forgive your parents, to forgive your ancestors, to forgive them because they have failed, and they have failed you. Your parents did fail you. They did. Right. They did a terrible job of being there for you. They were wrong and terrible at everything they've ever done in their life. But it wasn't their choice. They didn't just choose. Even though Satan would have you believe that they had a choice and they made the decision, they didn't. You understand? There was a man by the name of Willie Lynch hundreds of years ago on the banks of Virginia who had set the fate of our fathers long before they were even born. Right. You should be mad at him. You understand? But our fight is not carnal, which is going to go into the sister's question. I'm going to end it on this. The sister asked, does the Bible speak of a physical war between Israelites and Edomites for all of the things that they have done to us, or is the battle only for Yahushua? The quick answer is the battle is only for Christ. You understand? But we're going to go to, I think, Matthew chapter 12 and verse 18, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get there just to make sure that's the right place. The backdrop on this story in this book right here, I mean, this chapter in Matthew, is the disciples of John the Baptist. The disciples came unto Christ, and they did not believe that Christ was the Savior. Does anyone know why they didn't believe that Christ was the Savior? Anybody? I'm going to take a shot. Think about today. Okay, who today, I think what was it, about a couple months ago, who were we as a people, right? Who were we fathomed by? Like, who did we fathom on the TV and we were just like, so like, yeah, that's it. Who was it? Think about the organization. You know it. You've seen it. It's different. It was something like, oh, man, I like that. Right. You understand? Say it in the mic, Salaki.
NFAC.
The niggas with attitude group. You understand? That's who we wanted. Right? Because that is a Judite custom. It's in us to want to fight against every goddamn thing. We want to just go to war. We want to pick up arms and go to war with the man who's been killing us. Why? Because of women. I don't know. You understand? Like, we want to be out there and kill the most so we can get the women. Who knows? But that's a Judite custom. That's not a custom, Slack. That's a Judite trait. That's what we've wanted to do. And thousands of years ago, that's what they wanted to do. Right. They wanted to rebel against the Romans. And in their rebellion, they wanted to do what? They wanted to NFAC, niggas with attitude, pick up guns and go and kill the Romans. So they thought that their savior was going to be that. They thought that Christ was going to come back and kill the Romans. But Christ wasn't coming back for that. Read what you got.
Mm-hmm. The book of Matthew, chapter 12.
Verse 15.
Verse 15. But when Yahushua knew it.
Oh, it's like 12 verse 18.
Behold, my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles.
What does that mean, that he shall show judgment unto the Gentiles? Who are the Gentiles? Remember, this is talking about Christ. Sis, remember this, I asked you a question. This is the war that Christ is bringing about. This is Christ's rebellion, his revolution. Who are the Gentiles?
In this context, would it be the non-Israelites, the so-called other nations?
La'ah.
Oh, okay.
In this context, it would be us. He is going to show judgment unto the Gentiles. Why? Because the Gentiles do not have judgment, right? When you look at us today in America, when a woman commits adultery, does she get stoned to death? When a brother eats shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, does he get exiled from Israel? La. When he's in a gang, when he murders, does he get exiled from Israel? All of the things that should be happening, it's not happening, which is why Christianity is flourishing. Because the crimes that they're committing against the Lord, they are not having what for it? Young man.
Punishment or consequence.
They're not getting judged for it, right? So there is going to be a king that is going to reign on this earth that is going to show them judgment. You understand? There will be a day where you cannot go and just commit adultery on your husband, because that king will be there to show judgment for it. You understand? Keep going.
19. He shall not strive.
He shall not strive. Keep going.
Nor cry.
Nor cry. What does that mean? You break that down. He shall not strive nor cry. Our king is different than every other ruler. He's different than the white man. He's different than the Arab man, the Middle Eastern. He's different than the Japanese and the Chinese. What would the Middle Eastern have you do to go against your enemy? What would Osama bin Laden have you do? Do what, sis? Salaki. To do what? Say what she said in the mic.
he would have you kill him.
To kill them all.
That's right.
Right? To go to war. So what it means to strive, what does it mean to strive? Young man.
To go through with it.
To go kill them, right? That's what it means to strive. To not cry. What does the cry part mean? You should know this. Remember that Christ is remember what the disciples of John were wanting from Christ. They were wanting something that he was not going to give them. He was different than the leaders of the Middle Easterns, of the Japanese, of the all oppressor. He was different. How was he different? It said that he will not strive nor cry. What did that mean? Think about what they wanted him to do. He's not doing it. If you got the answer, just raise your hand. Want to take a shot, just raise your hand. This brother dropped the mic. La Think about the Native Americans. Yeah, we upgraded. Think about, I get why you said that because it says cry, but that's not what this cry is. Think about the Native American Indians and their cry. What was the Native American Indian cry? Top one, you got it? Oh.
It was a battle cry.
Give him a hand. Give him a hand. It's a battle cry. Christ is not going to strive. He's not going to tell us to go kill anyone, and he's not going to give the battle cry. He's not going to say, attack and kill the so-called white man for slaughtering us in the streets of America. He's not going to do that. You understand? What you got?
A quick question.
Come.
So I think they didn't think that Yahweh Shah was Yahweh Shah, because in everybody's story, it says that when Yahweh Shah comes on the scene, that he's slaughtering everything. So was it that it wasn't the right incarnate? Well, am I saying that right?
Reincarnation?
Like it wasn't the right time. The time he came back, he wasn't coming back to do it then. It was like to prepare for it later on when he came back. Because at the time when he came, they were like, well, that's not what the text tells us. The text tells us that you supposed to be like slaughtering every goddamn.
Right, but he was. What Christ is saying right here, this is talking about his leadership and what he's doing for us. Meaning that battle cry was for us. Meaning what they wanted Christ to do was to come and give orders for us to go kill. But remember what the Lord said, that vengeance is mine. Christ is going to kill them. That is a prophecy. It is going to happen. But he's going to be the one to do it. It's not going to be us. You understand? It's going to break it down a little bit more. Keep reading. Keep going.
Nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break.
A bruised reed shall he not break. What is that? What is the reed? You know what the reed is? What is a reed? Sis?
The plant that grows out of the water.
Right. So the reed is like the long, the stalk, like it grows in like swamp areas and things like that around water. It's long. So the bruised reed would be a bruise. It'll be, imagine one of those reeds halfway broken, right? And he said what? That Christ would not do what? Read it again. Let me get there with you. Hold on.
Khan. A bruised reed shall he not break.
Meaning he's not going to harm a bruised reed. Keep going.
Khan. And smoking flax shall he not quench.
Meaning a fire, right? Shall he not quench? Keep going.
Till he send forth judgment unto victory.
Until he send forth judgment unto victory. Meaning he's not going to send us to battle. He's going to be the one that is going to win the battle for us. He's going to be the one that's going to give the war. He is going to be the one to slaughter our oppressor. You understand? The scripture says what? That his basically it's paraphrasing that his garment was going to be draped in blood. You understand? He is going to be the one to do it. But he's not the leader or the king over Israel that is going to send us to do it, which is why the NFAC would be wrong, because that's not our battle. We just read that our fight is not against flesh, and it's not against flesh and blood. It's against principalities. Meaning what Christ is trying to say right now is that we have to fight. So like I'm paraphrasing. There's a scripture. Christ said this, that they would put the fool in the stock and leave him there. You understand? And the Sadducees and Pharisees will whoop that man for him being foolish or for his sins. But what was the problem with that? What was the problem for, if you know what the stalk is, I may be saying the wrong name for it, but I'm talking about the thing where they would put your head in it and your arms like this and leave you there overnight. And sometimes you would get whooped. What was the problem with the Sadducees and Pharisees whooping them? Go ahead.
They were whooping them for whatever apparent transgression they were doing, but they were physically beating them, but they wouldn't enact the same. They wouldn't want the same thing done to them, so they were being hypocrites, in a sense.
Right, meaning they were whooping him for his sins, but then they would go home and be more wicked sinners than he was. You understand? So Christ is saying at this point, we have to fix ourselves before we can even do anything against our oppressor. You understand? That's the spirit behind what Christ is saying right here. That we have to stop being high on drugs before we can even speak on war. We have to stop killing each other and slaughtering each other and raping and lying and stealing before we can ever think to go to war with anybody. We have to go to war with ourselves first. You understand? That's why that scripture said we are not fighting against flesh and blood, but against principalities, man. You understand? Them demons, them things that are in high places that are against us. You understand? So right now in this day, our focus is not to be trained physically, even though we are trained physically. Our focus is not to be in order of an army, even though we are in order of an army. We're not focused to be a militant group, even though we are a militant group. Our focus is to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. That is our battle against this so-called man. It is not for us to go and vote and to pick a king over us. It's not for us to pick up arms and to pick up AK-47s and AR-15s and to hit the streets and just go and slaughter all the Edomites in the world. Right. That's not our fight. Our fight is with ourselves. Our fight is us forgiving our family. Our fight is us forgiving those homeless men for being homeless, forgiving those drug addicts for being drug addicts, forgiving all of our people for the crimes or for the mishaps that they may do, and then learning how to fix ourselves. You understand? Because what is the one thing that you got to remember? When you're forgiving that brother, when you're forgiving your father, when you're forgiving that brother who's selling dope on the corner, when you're forgiving a homeless man who may be dirty, when you're forgiving him and loving him, what do you have to remember at all times? Kawhi?
That I wasn't their fault.
You got to remember that, but you got to remember something more deeper than that.
that Yahweh Shai actually forgave you also.
Christ forgave you on it, right? That's you right on it. But what is he forgiving you for what?
For all of your sins that you committed.
Because you were dirty just like him. You were dirty just like him. You understand? You may not have had children and left them, but you damn sure ate shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster when Christ said not to. You damn sure smoked weed when Christ said not to. You damn sure sold drugs when Christ said not to. So you may have not murdered. You may have not stole, but you damn sure are a liar. You damn sure was dealing with hookers. You damn sure was tattooing your body up. You damn sure was celebrating Christmas. You damn sure was celebrating Thanksgiving. You were doing all of those things. You damn sure was an adulterer, which is worthy of death. So you should be dead. So when you look at those brothers out there, before you say that they're disgusting and they're dirty and they're nothing but drug dealers and drug addicts and homeless and gangbangers and niggas, before you say that, remember that you should yourself be dead. You should yourself be dead. But through the mercy of the Most High, you're here. And so you should give that same mercy to them. You understand? And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Thabawan.
Con. ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, you give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, of course, will be the Feast of Hanukkah, the dedication, the Feast of Dedication. You understand? That's the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days, and that's going to begin on Wednesday, December 9th, okay? And if you're in the North Carolina area, you understand that's going to be held right here in the Durham School, 2534 South Roxborough Street. If you want to bring, you know what I'm saying, any items or what have you, get in contact with the priest, and we will get in contact with Officer Abraham, you know what I'm saying, in terms of just getting the menu together, all right? Salakia, like I said, that's for 8 days. You can find it in 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 52 through 61. Salakia, want to remind Akim and Agwathi to check on social media, such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, I mighty him. Salaki, actually, we're just going to salute out. So, sisters, you can remain your shab, which is seated.